On to this now. The national head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, or the Hawks, Lieutenant General Godfrey Lebeya, will today officially name the new Deputy National Head of the Hawks. Now, Lebeya will also brief the media on the key milestones that have been achieved since the previous quarter. Newzroom Afrika's Tumaole is in Pretoria East for us, and this is where the briefing is set to take place. Tumaole, good morning to you. Set the background for us as to what we can hear or what we are likely to hear from Godfrey Lebeya as he talks about the milestones. These are perhaps some of the cases that are being pursued by the Hawks. Just give us the key ones at the moment that will likely be the highlight of his briefing.
Well, Koli, the one that certainly does spring to mind in terms of Godfrey Lebeya's anticipated briefing would be the successes that have been achieved or attained by the Hawks in investigating particularly this issue of corruption as well as the crime in what we have now become familiar with, the Zama scourge that is facing mining, illegal mining that is around the country. Now we know that, of course, the Hawks have been watching this very, very closely to try and see exactly where these networks are. And they have announced, in periodic times about some of their successes when it comes not only to the issue of Zama's but also to the issue of other serious crimes, including, of course, the illicit flow of monies, including smuggling of things like vehicles, arms, as well as contraband like drugs and illegal tobacco trade, as well as liquor. So this is some of the things that we can expect would be touched upon by, of course, Dr. Lebeya there, and in terms of why he chose the particular individual who will be named here. Now, I don't want to go into the realm of speculation in terms of some of the names that should be thrown into the bag there, because that might be jumping the gun a little too soon, but we certainly can expect that whoever is going to be unveiled today as the new deputy will be someone who has some track record and who has proven himself and has contributed to many of those cases that we have heard about, particularly when it comes to the issue of trying to break down some of these financial syndicates that are behind many of the serious crimes that we find ourselves. Now, one that comes to mind quite recently when one casts their mind back would be the high-profile bust of one of Interpol's most wanted suspects, an Israeli national, and that particular investigation did see quite a multitasked investigation between several units, which would include the Hawks, and this is something that is a positive thing that we will hear about, and what other successes they have basically been involved in, and how they maintain that particular success to try and turn things around when it comes to the crime situation. Because we've heard on many occasions, including by National Police Minister Begitele, saying that when it comes to the issue of crime and crime syndicates that operate nationally and internationally, when one looks at SADC and beyond, and are behind many of those crimes, it's not the guys who are perpetrating that the police are only looking at. It's also, if one can use an analogy, of the head of the snake, the ones who are then the big shots or the big fish. The kingpins is another word that's used, that of course the Hawks and other similar policing specialist investigating units would be looking at to try and break the chain and the cycle of these crime networks.
Mohlaoli, absolutely spot on there. There have been a number of arrests that have been made in recent days and recent months, whether you talk about Ben Simon, the fugitive from Israel. That's certainly one of the high-profile cases that the Hawks have really done a sterling job on. But also, you couple that with the State Capture Commission of Inquiry cases. Those are also ongoing. Hopefully, we'll get some updates there. But there are some outstanding ones, though. And when I think of, for example, the case involving the Steinhoff boss, former Steinhoff boss. He is expected to go to Germany and face these crimes relating to Steinhoff. This is, we are told, in early next year. And so might there be an update from the Hawks as to whether or not this individual could possibly face the same crimes here in South Africa, or we will have to wait for the German leg of this legal case. All right.